recording now. And I'd like to welcome everyone to the Monday evening edition of the Hilltoppers, and also combined with the Foley Toastmaster meeting this evening. And if we could, we'll start with the invocation and pledge. And I think on Easy Speak, they had you, Cheyenne, set to do it. So I will turn the meeting to Cheyenne for our invocation and pledge.
Okay, thank you. All right, everyone, welcome to this one of our last meetings for January. Cannot believe January is almost over, but I just wanted to start the invocation, start the night off with saying there's a fabulous new show on Amazon Prime. It's called The Marvelous Miss Maisel, and it is about a female comic in the 50s, and it is incredible. You should give it a chance. The new season will be coming out next week. But on that show, it does show Lenny Bruce, who is a real comedian. And I have his book here, and it's really, really good. And I just wanted to read a quote from his book, which is called How to Talk Dirty and Influence People. So it just kind of talks about his life. So a quote from this book I thought was really good. Says, "The what should be never did exist, but people keep trying to live up to it. There is no what should be. There is only what is." So I thought that's a good thing going forward as we're starting our new year and, trying to keep our resolutions and our goals and, leaving last year behind. So just thought that was good. So with that, if we'll put our hand over our hearts, it will say our pledge. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Cheyenne. And I think that's a very good invocation. There's the way the world should be, and there's the way the world is. And acceptance is a very powerful thing in life. Not that we should give up, but acknowledging the way things are. So very good. Thank you. And moving on, have we, I guess we can do the club business. Do we have club business to discuss?
Let's see. I know I think Crystal, correct me if I'm wrong, that we are postponing the open house on May 27th.
January 27th. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. Did I say May? Yes, January 27th. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
It has been postponed and a new date has not been provided yet, correct?
June 1st.
Okay.
I sent the email out, but I don't know if I believe I sent it out to all of the areas. So forgive me if something got missed, but I checked and thought I sent it to everyone, but I'll check again. But the speech contest is still February 12th. Of course, the email as far as the paperwork will be sent out shortly. It's the same paperwork as before. Now, if there's only one contestant, then we won't have to have a full blown, but hopefully it's more than one. I think Eastern Shore has one, and I'm waiting to hear if Reed is going to compete or Buck or anybody from Foley, because you all definitely should. But we will see after that, after I have a discussion with all of the club presidents.
Okay, very good. That's all the club business that I know of. Let's see. Does anyone else have any other club business that needs to be discussed tonight? Carrie, were you about to, is it time to, oh no, I thought you were getting ready to wave your hand. Okay, anybody else have any club business for tonight? I think that is it. Okay, I will pass it back to you, Mr. David.
Thank you, Olivia. And I believe next on the agenda, we should review the agenda and go over our roles for this evening. And we can start with the grammarian if we could. And I'm not sure who's doing what, so just speak up.
I think that's me. This is Reed. I'll be giving you a word of the day, and I have gregarious, which means instinctively or temperamentally seeking and enjoying the company of others. I guess that could also be flirtatious, depending on your viewpoint. And I will just see. am I doing our counter as well, or is someone else doing that separately?
Yes, we have you down for all counter.
Okay, all right. In that case, I'll be listening for any catch words, the ahs, double words. Like somebody says, oh, well, I'll pick up the double, and then I will keep a little tally here and give a report toward the end. So back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. Mr. Reed, I'm sorry, excuse me, but could you put the word of the day and the definition in the chat, please? You're on mute, Reed.
I sure will. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Reed. And next, I guess we'll go ahead and start with the role of the general evaluator. If we could have that, please. Is that you, Olivia?
It is. Evening, everyone. And one of my roles tonight is that of the general evaluator. I will take minutes or little notes during the meeting, and then at the appropriate time, I will give my feedback on how the meeting went, the flow, the time, as well as I will call on the rest of the evaluation staff, which will be those that have roles today as evaluators, timers, all counter, grammarian. I will call on them and ask for their report during the evaluation period. That's my role for tonight as general evaluator, and back to you, Toastmaster David.
Thank you, Olivia. And moving on, could we have the role of whoever is timer this evening?
Absolutely.
I'll be
My role tonight is to help us keep on time, keep within our boundaries, and respect other people's times. So, that said one, what I'm going to be doing is timing speeches. Both of our speeches are 3 to 5 minutes. I'll give a green at 3, a yellow at 4, and a red at 5. I'll also be timing table topics, which are 1 to 2 minutes. I'll give green at 1 minute, a minute and a half yellow, red at 2. And evaluations, those will be 2 to 3 minutes. I'll give green at 2 minutes, yellow at 2.5, and red at 3. At the end, I'll report on how we all did with our time. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Richard. And moving on, we have, I think the last role to go over is Table Topics Master. And I see Wes has joined us. I'm not, who do we have for Table Topics?
Yes.
Is it still Wes?
Yes, Wes.
Okay, so could you give us your role, Wes?
Yes, Mr. General Evaluator. My role of table topics is role of table topics is to come up with certain questions to ask different Toastmasters on their opinions on a certain topic or certain topics. Table topics has the value of giving Toastmasters the ability to think and speak on their feet, so to speak. And that is my role this evening, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Wes. And I believe that concludes all of our roles that we were going to go over for this evening. So we can go ahead and get started with the meat of the meeting, if you will. And we will, I believe we have one speaker this evening, Crystal, is that correct?
Yes,
Or
sir.
2, we have 2. Okay, well, very good. Our first speaker I know is Crystal Lockett, and she's very involved with Toastmasters and has done a wonderful job in her roles. And so I will turn the meeting over to her. The title, I should say, of her speech is "What Does Toastmasters Mean to Me?" So Crystal.
When I joined Toastmasters in 2012, I never expected for me to be this involved in Toastmasters, meaning I didn't know that I was going to be serving as a club officer. I didn't know that I would be competing in club contests. And I definitely didn't know that I would be an area director. I say all that to say When I joined Toastmasters, it was strictly to improve my public speaking skills. That's all I wanted to do. I had a fear of public speaking. I didn't want to sound stupid. So therefore, I joined Toastmasters to conquer that fear. However, almost 10 years later, can't believe it, I have realized that Toastmasters means so much more to me than conquering my public speaking skills. So today, fellow Toastmasters, I'm going to talk to you about how Toastmasters helps me lead myself, lead others, and gain a plethora of knowledge through what I consider is a mastermind group in Toastmasters. So first and foremost, leading myself. My mentor, who I've talked about before, but never met, Dr. Darius Daniels, says that the most important person that you will lead is yourself. So I thought to myself, how in the world will I be able to have a successful business, lead my coworkers as the nurse practitioner in the clinic, or fund and lead a nonprofit with people that don't work for money? They work for free. How am I going to do that? Or even lead a Toastmasters club of volunteers. We're all volunteers. Well, the way you do that is by first and foremost leading yourself. You have to be able to see your strengths and your weaknesses and continue to work on them. There's a Japanese business practice or business model called the Kaizen model. It's continual improvement. So I am in Toastmasters to continue to improve as a leader, because I know that there's no way I can lead my patients, my coworkers, the board members on our foundation until I first know how to lead myself. Can I achieve the goals that I've set in Toastmasters? Can I achieve the goals that I set outside of Toastmasters? I do that by continuing to work on them, establish SMART goals, and continue to review where we are in the process. I also realize that Toastmasters gives me the opportunity to know how to lead different personalities. We are all very diverse in this group, which is what I love. I have a calling for unifying individuals. That is my calling, unity and diversity. If you ever see anything with our foundation, I always say that, unity and diversity. Everybody is so unique and brings something to the table. I want to be able to gather that out of people and respect each other's differences, but at the same time, get things done. Toastmasters teaches me how to do that through serving as an officer. And lastly, that mastermind group. Napoleon Hill said in his book, the mastermind may be defined as a coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between two or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. I pray that we all see that we're in Toastmasters not just for ourselves, but we're in Toastmasters because we want to influence others and the world to be better. That is why we're in it. If you're just in it for yourself, then of course you won't be motivated to come to a meeting, give a speech. No, why? You're for it yourself. But if you're thinking of others, that's what motivates you to keep going. That's what motivates you to complete a path, because you realize it's bigger than you. It's the people that are around you, your family, your friends, your coworkers, whoever. Those people are needing something from you. They may need you to help pull out the best in them, empower them, see something that they don't see in themselves. The 18 board members that are on our foundation all have so many different talents that they bring to the table. I don't want to just see them help the foundation. I want to see their businesses grow through their interaction with all of the people in the foundation. And I pray the same for everyone here in this Toastmasters group, that we're not just growing stronger and being better communicators for ourselves, but that we are empowering each other to be the best that we can be in and out of Toastmasters. So Toastmasters for me gives me the ability to lead myself, helps me to figure out how to lead others that are very diverse, and allows me to acquire knowledge through my own little special mastermind group. That's what Toastmasters means to me. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Crystal. That was a very, I just said a filler word. That was an enlightening speech. I really love the talking about leading myself first, because if I can't get my own act together, I can't help anyone else. And also, I remember my very first Toastmasters meeting at Carpe Diem. When I walked into the room, there was quite a diversity of people from all, we had students, we had older people from all walks of life. And that was one of the reasons that I wanted to stay and participate, was because I felt like I had something to learn from people that were different from myself. So I think that was a very good point with diversity, and also helping the world, the mastermind idea that, and it's all reciprocating. If I find that the more I do for others, the more it comes back to me. It's all one big wonderful thing. So, and I thought you put that out very well. So thank you. But somebody else will do your evaluation, of course. So we'll move on now to our second speaker, and forgive me, but I'm at a loss as to who that is. Oh, Olivia. Okay, Olivia will be our second speaker for this evening, and I believe you will also be talking about what does Toastmasters mean to me. Very good. Well, this will be Olivia's take on it, and it's all yours, Olivia.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. I have the privilege to answer the question, what does Toastmaster mean to me? Picture it. I was 13 years old, and finally I had been given the privilege, permission granted by my parents, to attend a teenage party. Oh my goodness. I had been waiting all my life to finally be old enough to go hang out with the older kids. They're going to be 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds, and I thought I was with the upperclassmen. I could not wait to go. I get to the party, and there were people everywhere. There was dancing, and people were eating, and there were games and laughing and socializing and watching videos, and it was just so much to do. I was beside myself with excitement. I was thinking, wow, this is the life. But where did I find myself? Plastered up against a wall. All night long, I stood there. Fear was everywhere. I was frozen in fear. I was completely shaped in shyness. And that left me wrapped in remorse. I told myself that night when I got home, you will never be that person again. And I wasn't. I became the life of the party. Everywhere I went, I was the one that was dancing and laughing and telling jokes and playing games and singing. Karaoke, that became my pastime. But, well, so I conquered that mission accomplished. As I became older, I asked myself that question that we all have asked. What do, excuse me, I want to do with my life? I pursued a degree in psychology. From there, I became an EMT. I even went to nursing school, and nothing really made me feel fulfilled. And then all of a sudden, I got it. My senses started to tingle whenever I would hear the words keynote speaker, or speaker of the hour, or special guest speaker. Aha, I got it. That's what I want to do. I want to speak. I want to speak publicly. I want to be an influencer. I want to be a motivational speaker, if you will. I wanted to be any capacity of speaking that I could find. Just give me a mic and let me speak. So I found and became a member of Toastmasters, and I thought that I was going to do just that. Watch my speaking capacity soar. But what does Toastmaster really mean to me? Number one, first and foremost, Toastmaster produces enhanced communication skills. These skills are needed in every relationship, whether it be a personal relationship like that with a spouse or a friend, children, parents, with whatever your loved ones are, or maybe even a professional experience. We all want to be gregarious at some time, seeking to enjoy the companies of others. It's so much better when you have that ability to speak or communicate. Next thing that Toastmaster means to me is increased cognitive ability. Toastmaster teaches us to think, to study, to do the research, to stay ready and not get ready. Another thing that Toastmaster means to me is mentorship. Knowing and understanding the importance of being a mentee and a mentor. Why? Because knowledge or acquiring knowledge should never cease. And at the same time, a real mentee knows and understands the importance of mentoring others. And lastly, what does Toastmaster mean to me? Stronger knees. Stronger knees? What do you mean? No, this is not an aerobics class, although, well, hey, who knows? But no, stronger knees. You know that feeling that you get when you're afraid that someone's going to ask you a question that you're not quite prepared to answer, or the feeling that you get when you're in a public setting and you think that someone may ask you to take the stand or please grab the mic. That weak feeling you get in your knees, that palms that begin to perspire, and then that little bit that rolls down your side of your face. Well, Toastmaster helps all of that go away. Building that self-confidence, that expertise, that Superman pose, you will begin to do it with ease, ready and willing. No butterflies in the tummy feeling. That's what Toastmasters means to me. Back to you, Table Topics Master. I'm sorry, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Olivia. That was very good. And I love starting off talking about, I can't even imagine a 13-year-old Olivia. That was quite cool. And myself, I've discussed before as well, have experienced a lot of experience with shyness and overcoming it. So that I could very much relate to that. And I love the emotions that you had talking about it, how when you became the life of the party, you were so excited and animated. That was really nice. And also I agree where you talked about communication is everything, not just learning to give a speech, but everything we do in life. We're interconnected. We communicate with each other on every walk of life, every minute of the day, practically. So Toastmasters can help with all of that. And then touching on the mentor mentee and having stronger needs, that was wonderful. So thank you. And before we go on, well, I think, yeah, I was just going to mention, if we could, when people are talking, if you could be sure you're muted, because sometimes there's feedback but we're good with that. So we'll move on now to the next section of our meeting, which will be our table topics, which is a lot of people's favorite part of the meeting. And I will turn the meeting over to our table topics master, which will be Mr. Wes Hillstrom.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Okay. Yeah, the table topics is a very interesting part of Toastmasters, part of the meeting, and one can learn a great deal from it in a variety of ways. But the first question I would ask is, Maurice, you're having lunch with some friends. One person says, Maurice, I understand that you're a Toastmaster. How has Toastmasters helped you in your life?
Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, if there are any, but fellow Toastmasters and fellow Toastmasters. The question that was posed to me is, I'm having lunch with friends or coworkers or whatever, and I'm about to tell them how Toastmasters has helped me. The first thing, in order to address the word of the day, I think Toastmasters has helped me become more gregarious. As a natural introvert, I really had to be, in the past, I had to be jump-started to get into a conversation, but I'm still not that, I don't consider myself that good at starting a conversation because the topics I have in my head don't usually fall in line with what the group would like to talk about. Because I learned, and many of you learned too, that great minds think about ideas, average minds think about events, and small minds think about people. Well, my mind is a lot on the ideas and the events. So I don't usually start a conversation by saying, for example, good afternoon or good morning. You have a lovely pair of shoes on or something like that. I can't start a conversation. I have to start a conversation on ideas or events to really get me going. Now, if someone asks me a question, it might be the other way around. But to get to the crux of the question, what did Toastmasters do for me? Okay, besides me becoming more gregarious, it helped me to learn how to create speeches better than I have in the past. It helped me to put together more speech ideas or generate more ideas for a speech, among many other things. Back to you, Topics Master.
Thank you, Maurice. Appreciate your input. Reed. A person comes up to and understands that you're Toastmaster and asks you why you joined Toastmasters and what benefits have you derived from that. What would you tell that person?
Oh, this is a very good one. I had heard about Toastmasters for several years, but I never went. And I actually started my speaking career before ever going to a Toastmasters meeting. I was a little bit nervous. I held off because I thought when I got there, there would be about 200 people in the room, and they would all take turns telling me what I did wrong. A little bit nerve-wracking. And then I drove up to, it used to be called MCI, a telephone company. That's where I worked. And I pulled next to this car and it said, speak up, join Toastmasters. And I thought, that's fascinating. I'd just been thinking about this, and there was a car with a bumper sticker that had just that. So I called inside, I looked up where there was one close by. Just so happened there was one on the 4th floor of the building where I worked, and I was on the 2nd floor. I'm like, perfect. And most important thing, they serve barbecue every week. I was like, yeah, I like this already. So I went in, and there were not 200 people. There were about 25. I loved the format. I loved everything about it. And then I went up and I wrote a check out. I said, how much is it? I want to join. And the guy said, well, let me ask you a question. What floor do you work on? I thought that's an awfully strange question when someone's trying to give you a check with money. And I said, I'm on the 2nd floor. And he goes, I'm sorry, you can't join our club. Like, what? What floor you got to be on to join? And it was a closed club. So their director paid for everyone. They let me come as a guest just to see how Toastmasters was. My life changed. He said, don't worry. There's a club that meets every Monday evening on the 1st floor. And I joined, and the rest was history. But I learned just as much about leadership, if not more, than what I ever dreamed of learning about speaking, especially my high performance leadership project, where I was the conference chair. That was the biggest thing I got the most value out of. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Reed. Very interesting response. David, you're a speech evaluator. How would you make your speaker become more comfortable? What information would you ask what would information would you give to the speaker that you're evaluating to help feel more comfortable and to help them progress as a Toastmaster?
Thank you, Wes. My question is, as a speech evaluator, what information or how would I make the speaker feel more comfortable and progress as a speaker? That's a good question. I think our evaluators are a critical part of Toastmasters, and we all take turns being evaluators. The one thing I've learned is, first, it's very important to give observations and not advice, not tell them what they need to do, but tell them what I observed them doing, and do so in a positive manner, in a friendly way. And really, it's the one thing I like to say to people is that, this is practice. It's fine if you mess up. Messing up is what we're here for. As a matter of fact, I would go further and say, if we're not messing up, we're not really even, that's critical to progression. If we're not failing, we're not progressing. So when I mess up on something, that's okay. But for the most part, I think being an evaluator it's a really difficult thing to do, in the sense that it's not something I can prepare for in advance. I have to listen to the speech and then give my feedback soon thereafter. But it's a very important part of Toastmasters, and I think those are two critical things to it, to have it where they are progressing and at the same time feel comfortable. But of course, giving the speech itself is something where we get out of our comfort zone to do, at least most of us do. And so that is a very good point, that we need to make people feel comfortable and familiar. And that has been my experience here. The evaluations I've had on my speeches over the couple of years I've been here have been wonderful, and the people have been kind and loving, and I guess that's part of it too, is just do it in a loving way. People can sense if you're sincere and trying to help, and that makes all the difference in the world. So that's my quick answer. Thank you, Wes, and back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, David. Toastmasters helps the organization helps Toastmasters in a variety of ways, but it helps people to give a self-expression to topics of particular interest, be they just normal presentations during a meeting or during a contest. Richard, could you tell me, can you remember a particular presentation that you really were enthused about giving?
Presentation that I was really enthused about giving probably was the speech about the wagon, the stagecoach driver, and the horses, because I got to talk about something I grew up with, which was Westerns. I got to talk about some things I learned, and I got to talk about leadership. And these things all together really was almost like I felt like a real adult. When you start off, you kind of feel like a kid because you think everybody's going to be so much better than you. And you start to do this for a while and you realize just the fact you showed up and you did a speech makes you head and shoulders above so many other people. And that speech for me, I brought things together, and it actually sounded like I knew what I was doing, and it was fun to give, and I heard people enjoy it, and you could see people's expression. And I thought, wow, I'm growing up. I may not be a kid anymore. And that was my favorite speech that I've given, because I remember that day giving it for the first time. I remember the responses and thinking, I really am learning something. I'm getting better. And that's what it's about, getting better. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Buck. Appreciate it. So you see, Toastmasters can help persons in a variety of ways, in giving promptu responses, and being a better listener and an evaluator, and for giving presentations. But I salute you all, and I wish us all luck on our journey to become better communicators and more effective leaders. Remember, the tagline for Toastmasters is not where speakers are made, it's where leaders are made. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Wes. And that was a wonderful table topics session. Those were very intriguing questions and thought-provoking as well. Moving on, I think we are now approaching our evaluation portion of the meeting. And so I will turn the meeting over to our general evaluator, which is Miss Olivia Carter.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much, David. I will start my evaluation by calling on the evaluation team. So if we could, please, let's start off with our timer for tonight. Book, tell us how we did. And please, be gregarious about it. Enjoy it.
That is my challenge in Toastmasters, is being gregarious. For our time speeches, Crystal was 5 minutes and 10 seconds. Olivia was 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And somebody once told me, if you can press your time and just get a few seconds over, it's perfect. So great job for both of you. Table topics, Maurice was 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Reed was 2 minutes and 16 seconds. David, 2 minutes and 1 second. And I was 1 minute and 35 seconds. Good job, everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your evaluation, Book, of our time. Let's go talk to our counter and grammarian, and let's hear how we did there, as well as the usage of the word of the day. Mr. Reed, that'll be you.
All right. Well, I got to tell you, y'all are a bunch of boring people as far as the eye count's going on tonight. Okay. All right. So let's see. Hey, I only got David with the 1. He pointed it out because I almost missed it. And I caught myself with 1 before I stopped. And that is it. And then for the word of the day, I've heard Olivia and I heard Richard. Did I miss anyone? Can you raise your hand? Maurice, all right, forgive me, I missed one there. So Olivia, Richard, and Maurice.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
All right. And most importantly, well, not most importantly, but I'm sorry, I should have started out with our speech evaluators. So Ms. Candace, Mr. Maurice, you had the first evaluation, and that was for Crystal. What does Toastmaster mean to me? Take it away, please.
All right. So I evaluated Crystal's speech. What does Toastmasters mean to me? And I'll go over the general comments. You excelled at giving an entertaining and informative speech, talking about when you first joined Toastmasters, you didn't expect all these things to happen. You becoming a leader, you just wanted to work on your communication. You know, just work on my speech a little bit, improve on my speech, you know, but you became a leader. I didn't really see that much that you had to work on. I just said maybe a little more vocal variety. That's what I said there. And to challenge yourself, continue improving and growing in communication and leadership in various ways. For the evaluation points, clarity, spoke with good clarity, spoke with a moderate amount of vocal variety, good eye contact, good gestures. I felt that she had good audience awareness and your comfort level was real good. And the speech was interesting to the audience. And this last point, well supported. Do you have any sources? I mean, I didn't know, well, I didn't know. I mean, I think your source was your experience. That's all I could see on that.
I agree.
I didn't see any materials that you had to grab in order to, in order to read the speech. But that is my evaluation of Crystal's speech. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much for that evaluation, Maurice. And yes, Miss Crystal, your speech was dynamic. It was phenomenal, and it was very inspiring. I liked when you talked about, you know, I'm so glad I let Reed do his his evaluation first. Crap, I had a but I was saying that I really liked how you mentioned that Toastmasters is just not for you, it's to give back or to pay forward or to carry someone else along, and that your goal is for everyone to achieve, and so, again, I like that about your speech, and thank you very much for it. And Maurice, thank you. And now, Miss Candace, if you would please give the evaluation of the second speaker, and that just so happened to be me. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Toastmaster Olivia. I want to thank you for the opportunity to allow me to do an evaluation for the first time. So, ooh.
Awesome.
I was totally captivated anytime that someone evokes an emotion in me, and the mental picture of me being 13 grabbed me in and pulled me into your speech. And I immediately responded to you. I felt empathy about who I was at 13 and could feel that wildflower feeling of being the person glued to the wall and watching all the pretty people do things. And it totally pulled me back into that angst of teenageism. And I was totally sold on your speech from that moment on. Grabbed me and pulled me in. Your eye contact was good. Your gestures, not only your eye contact, but your facial expressions were fabulous. I was very interested. You were very engaged, very gregarious, and just emoted with your entire body what you were thinking and feeling. And I thought you did a fabulous job.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. Candace. And you did a great job as well, being this is your first evaluation. So thank you for that. Thank you. And hey, Crystal said, first time for everything. Way to go, Candace. Thank you very much for that, Ms. Candace. Reed, if you so choose, you can, if you took any more notes, you can give a new evaluation if you like. And then my apologies for being out of order. And then Buck, could you give the time for Maurice and Candace's evaluation? Did you take that?
I did.
Thank
Maurice was 2 minutes and 3 seconds, and Candace was 1 minute and 40 seconds.
you. All right.
Good job, both of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I know, Reed, that Candace did also use the word of the day, and I think I gave about 2 you-knows and 3 ahs. What in the world? That was terrible. But okay, thank you very much. Let's see, I think we are done with our evaluation, or for the rest of the evaluation. I think we've covered everything. Timer, counter, grammarian, yes. Okay, so again, for our general evaluation of the meeting, first off, just if you guys would just take like 2 seconds and just glance around the room. We have 12 attendees. It has been times during COVID that we've had 4 people. The meeting went on. It was a little tough, but we enjoyed it. We enjoyed it. But to have 12 members, I mean, my whole screen is just full. So that in and of itself just excites me. And I am just thankful to all of you to be here. I am just giving you a bunch of hugs and loves. I think the meeting went well. Everyone jumped in, had a role, did very well in their role. Everyone that had a role did very well in their role. And again, I just thank you for that. And the time tonight was impeccable. Everything just flowed smoothly. We did start at 6:48, which gave us a 3-minute slight, shall I say, 3 minutes tardy, but we came right in with a great invocation and pledge by Cheyenne, and it just went smoothly from there. Wes, I appreciated the way that you kind of switched up the question, what does Toastmaster mean to me? But everyone still had the opportunity to answer it in their own way and provide some insight or some intellect on what Toastmasters means to them. So thank you very much for that. David, as always, thank you for being an awesome Toastmaster. And to all of you guys, thank you, thank you, thank you. And that is it for my general evaluation. I'll pass it back to you, David, our Toastmaster for the evening.
Thank you, Olivia. That was a wonderful evaluation or general evaluation, and thank all of our evaluators for giving a wonderful reports. I think Crystal posted in the chat that she was going to take a screenshot. So if there's no objections, we're recording the meeting anyway, so I don't guess anybody would mind a screenshot as well. And moving on, I believe we do have an educational overview this evening, and that will be done by Mr. Donovan O'Malley. If he is prepared, we will move to our educational overview.
Yep, I'm prepared. I have something that I've written up during the meeting, actually. The title of this education overview is Importance of Quotes. The three importances is encouragement, confidence, and engagement. Encouragement. To be able to gain the urgency while you are giving a speech. 2, confidence. To be able to feel comfortable about yourself and the audience gregariously while you are speaking. And 3, engagement. That will help the speaker to be able to hook the audience attention to the speaker and weave the audience into that speech by asking rhetorical questions. These 3 importances will help you to guide yourself to be able to speak more confidently, but also to be able to succeed through the pathways that we have installed as to be able to keep achieving the distinguished club status. Thank you. That's my education overview. Thank you, everyone, and back to David.
Thank you, Donovan. And I think, yes, confidence is a critical thing, and engagement. And I love how you said hook the audience, a good emphasis on that word. And pathways is what Toastmasters is all about, definitely. So thank you for mentioning that. I think it's, I've shared before, I've completed one pathway, and at first parts of it seemed a little corny, or do I really need to do this? But once I did it, I found that I learned quite a bit about myself, and it was almost like getting a free therapy. It was really amazing. So I think it's a very worthwhile thing to pursue. It takes a little bit of effort, but once you start doing it, it really does. I mean, it just goes one module after the other. So thank you, Donovan, again. And that completes our educational overview. It's 7:37. So as Olivia said, we're right on time now for awards. Do we have any awards for this evening? I'm not aware of any. And I think then that will conclude my role as the as your Toastmaster for this evening. So thank you for having me and allowing me to do that. It's a good experience for me as well. And I will turn the meeting back over to our president, Ms. Carter.
Thank you, everyone. And thanks a bunch, David, for your role tonight as Toastmaster. I don't know why I keep wanting to say table topic master. We are a few minutes early, so we can take these last few little seconds to go over our roles for next week. But before we do that, it's 7:38, so we're supposed to be pausing for a selfie. So, Crystal, are you ready, or did you already take it?
I did, and I just realized my eyes are closed. Can we
Let's
do this again? Okay, yeah. On the count of three, I'm gonna hit the button. 1, 2, 3. Cheese. Got it.
All right.
Oh man.
Thank you very much, everyone. Okay, so I think you guys, hopefully you read the text message where I said that Maurice was going to edit this and take a little snippet from everyone or a few of us, however he sees fit, and then we're going to make us almost like a Facebook commercial, if you will. So hopefully no one has any objections to being recorded. At the beginning of the meeting, we record it anyway, so this meeting always goes on YouTube. If you don't want what you said tonight to go into our Facebook little commercial, what does Toastmaster means to me, then just send Maurice a quick message, chat, text, phone call, email, and let him know so that he can make sure that you're excluded during the editing process. This is just, we had on last Wednesday, we had our executive meeting, basically just our officers meeting. And one of the things that we know, we talked about, and I think we are pretty okay with maintaining the members that we have. So that's okay. But one of the things that we really have to do is get the visitors in. I was a little sad because I had a guest that I just knew was going to make it tonight, and that person obviously didn't show, but that's okay. I'm going to keep pushing. So, and I'm just pleased. I'm trying to impress upon all of us to be gregarious about it. I mean, seek and enjoy the company of others and get them to seek and enjoy your company as well, and meet you at 6:45 on zoom.com for our Hilltopper and Foley meeting. Please, please, please. We have a good little ways to go before we make it back to our distinguished status, but I think it's doable. So my request is that all of us just keep trying to get in some visitors. If you bring them in, we're going to do our part to keep them here. So thank you very much for that. We have 4 minutes. Can I get anybody that's just eager to take a role next week to go ahead and say they want to take one? Oh, Mr. West, I see your hand now. Sorry.
Well, I'll take the timer role, but I'd like to see something else, and that information that I sent out to the club officers last week. One of the things on there was never give up. We just have to keep working at this. We can do it. It's doable. We can do this. We work at it. We can get that distinguished club status. Hilltoppers and Foley.
That's right. We can do it. We can do it. Anybody else has anything? Okay, it's 3 more minutes. So who would like to be our Toastmaster for next week? Donovan, you're gonna be able to take notes? Our timer was book. Anybody wants to be our Toastmaster for next week? Okay, let's get the easy ones out of the way. The all counter and the grammarian. Those are the easy ones. I know you're anxious.
I'll be all counter and grammarian.
Okay. Thank you very much, Donovan. We have Crystal as all counter and grammarian, and of course, word of the day.
Yes.
All right. Toastmaster, I'll take Toastmaster role. What about our timer? General evaluator? Carrie, which one will you take?
I'll take timer.
Well,
Carrie
Wes,
says she. Oops.
well, Wes said he would take timer.
Oh, he put that in the chat?
No,
Well, he
it's
put it in
not
the chat, but
taken.
he said it out loud.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Wes said he will be the timer. Okay. Carrie, that leaves general evaluator.
Sure.
Okay. We'll take Carrie as our general evaluator. And let's see. I know someone is just excited about giving a speech. Okay, and then our
Buck,
theme.
Buck,
music.
Buck, Buck,
Ow!
Buck raised his hand.
I'm looking all over the place. Sorry. Thank you very
I'll do
much.
one.
Okay, Buck says, so that means we need a speech evaluator. Speech evaluator. Candace, you want to give it another go? You're on a
Yes,
roll
ma'am.
now.
Yes,
Awesome.
ma'am.
Candace, thank you. Candace will be your evaluator. One more speech, going once, going twice. Okay, you have plenty of time between now and Monday to get it prepared. Okay, guys, ladies, gentlemen. Anybody else? David?
I was just going to say, I don't think I heard Kyler's voice this evening, so I would like to hear Kyler's voice and see how he's doing briefly.
Hi, Kyler.
I was actually about to pop in and offer to take table topics if no one has taken it yet.
Table topic sounds good. And I think Cheyenne, did you say something about you wanting to do the other speech, or I'm sorry, did I misunderstand?
I think you heard somewhere else. So it's been like a breeze coming into the window.
It's probably this space heater we have on down here that's cooking my legs.
A breeze.
All right. All right. Donovan, I'll get with you later so I can get those roles and put them in populate to easy speak. What about a theme? We talked about that as well on last Wednesday, and I am just requesting that every one of us pick a theme, not a theme a month, just one time, pick a theme and let's see what we can roll with it. I mean, it could be anything from something silly, something serious. Cheyenne, we got to do a theme on jokes, knock jokes, or something, knock jokes. You can do it, something comedic. Am I saying that right? Comedic. Yes. So keep that in the back of your mind or in the front of your mind, please. We want everyone to think of just a one-time thing. We need about 2 weeks to prepare for it. So you let us know now. We can do it 2 weeks away so that we can have time to get our clown hats or funny shirts. Oh, like David, your t-shirts. Didn't you have on, what was that? You had on the t-shirt that we all talked about one night. Do you remember?
The
What about-
Tyrannosaurus Rex, I think.
Okay,
about-
maybe so.
What about a Toastmaster wears many hats and we all wear hats next Monday since
Okay, we all can wear hats.
Talk up,
Toastmasters wear.
Talk Up Toastmasters starts February 1st.
Toastmaster wears many hats. That sounds great. Okay, well, David already has his hat on. That sounds great. Toastmasters wears many hats. Donovan, you got that? And yes, I do like your speech about quotes. Actually, your theme of quotes. I actually have a whole speech on just quotes and what they mean or where they originated from. Because sometimes we say things and we have no idea what the original meaning was. One day I'm gonna present that speech. But okay, that's a good idea as well, Donovan. Okay, so we have our theme for next week, and that is Toastmasters wear many hats. And we'll all come in wearing a hat next week. All right, that's it for me. It's 7:46, so I'm going to be sensitive to everyone's time. Thank you all very much. I enjoyed it again. And if all minds are clear, we're going to roll out of here. All right.
Bye.
Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, goodbye.